Okay, welcome back to another Python video. Today we're going to use list comprehensions to compare two lists, and that's going to spit out a new list of all of the differences between two lists. This is probably going to be a short video. There's not a whole lot to cover once you've seen it, but if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. That way you don't miss any future content. And then the last video, I showed the in operator. It was part of my Python basics playlist video where we just talked about the in operator to compare two lists. We loop through one list and then we say, is each item in that list also in this other list? And if not, we'll do something with it. And if so, we'll do something else with it. And then I mentioned at the end of this video, I'm going to do this differently with one line of code with a list comprehension. So if you want to check out that video, feel free to do that. And if you don't care, then let's just get into it. So I'm going to clear this down here, and below I'm going to create a new list called differences. And if you don't know the syntax with list comprehensions, it's pretty easy. The first thing we're going to do is give some kind of alias. So I like to use x. So x for x in, and here's where we want to think. What do we want to go through? We want to go through both lists in this case. So what we can do is toppings is our first list plus user submitted. I guess I didn't preface this by saying what's going on here. So we have our above list is all of the available toppings for pizzas, and then down below we have a user submitted toppings list, and we want to see, well, at least in my last video, we wanted to see what was user submitted that wasn't a valid topping. But in this case, I'm getting the differences of both lists. So if this list contains something that this list doesn't, it'll end up in this list, this new differences list, and vice versa. If the other list has something that the top list doesn't, this will also end up in this differences list. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're adding both lists, we're looping through each item in both lists, and then we're going to say if x, that value that we're looping through, not in user submitted, or x not in toppings. So if that value is not found in the user submitted list, or it's not found in the toppings list, we're going to put that in this new differences list. Now if we go down here a couple lines and print out this new list, we can run this and make sure it works. So here we go. We have a comparison between these two lists. We have all of the differences between the two lists. So pepperoni shows is the first one because pepperoni is in the toppings list, but it's not in the user submitted list. Mushrooms in the differences list because mushroom is in the above list, but not the user submitted list, and then so on and so forth. Now, if I wanted to do what we did in the last video, which is show me all of the user submitted toppings that don't belong in our toppings master list. So we can change up our list comprehension a bit. We can say x for x in user submitted. We no longer care about toppings, so we're not going to add these two lists together. If x is not in, and then we can erase all of this, but toppings. So give us each item in user submitted that is not found in the list toppings. And now if we run this, we're only going to get two, chocolate, because chocolate is not a topping that's valid, and spinach, which is also not a topping that's valid. So you can do it either way. If you want to subtract, I guess, one list from another and just get the differences of one list compared to the other, or if you want to compare both entirely, you can do what we did previously. But this is a way you can get differences of lists with a list comprehension. Hopefully this video helped in some way. If it was confusing, which I have a feeling it might be, feel free to watch it again too. It might make a little more sense. And I hope to see you in a future video, and take care.